Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Bethany and today we're going to do the mid-year book freakout tag. So this is one of my favorite videos of the year. It's also one of my favorite videos to watch other booktubers do, so I've really been enjoying watching all of these mid-year check-ins from other booktubers. So let's go ahead and get started with mine. The very first question is the best book you've read so far this year. And I've actually had a pretty good reading year. I've read a lot of good books, a lot of 5 stars, but this one really stands out to me as my favorite so far, and that is The Masterpiece by Francine Rivers. This is a contemporary romance from Francine Rivers. It's so good though. It's a pretty big book and she took her time to really connect me to these characters. We went back and looked at their childhoods. There's a salvation story in here. There's redemption and grace and so much. There's spiritual warfare in here, which kind of intimidated me, but it was actually okay. And I just really, really loved the depth of this story. It just really impacted me emotionally. So I highly recommend this if you have not read it. All right, the second question is the best sequel that you've read so far this year. And for that, I am going with In This Moment by Gabrielle Meyer. This is the second book in the Timeless series. The first book is When the Day Comes. And this is a Christian historical time travel. It's so good. Her writing is just great. Like, her ideas are so unique and her characters are so well developed, and I just really, really like her writing. I think that she just has this special gift. Question number 3 is a new release that you haven't got to yet. So like something that came out, I guess, in the past year that you haven't read yet. And for that one, I'm choosing The Women by Kristen Hanna. I really, really enjoyed The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna, and I'm looking forward to this one. This is historical fiction set around the Vietnam War. I've heard really good things, and I know that she can write a good book, so I'm really looking forward to this one. The next question is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and for that one, I'm picking Between the Sound and Sea by Amanda Cox. I do have this on NetGalley. I think it comes out in August, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. Amanda Cox has become one of my favorite authors, so I'm definitely most looking forward to this one this year. Okay, question number 5 is your biggest disappointment. And for that one, I have Catherine Center's Everyone is Beautiful. So this is not my least favorite book of the year, definitely, but I think it was just the most disappointing because I really love Catherine Center. She's one of my favorite authors. I'm wanting to read her to zero this year, and this one just wasn't very good for me, and so I was disappointed by that because I've really liked most of her other ones. I think they've all been 4 or 5 stars except for this one, so it was just a little disappointing. It was very different than her newer rom-com style. It was a little more heavy. It was about a married couple, which I thought I would like, but I just didn't like the way that was handled, and I didn't like the outlook on motherhood and the way it was represented in this book. Question number 6 is your biggest surprise, and that one is definitely Crime and Poetry by Amanda Flower. This is my first 5-star cozy. I had a cozy vlog that I'll link below where I was trying to find a cozy that I really loved, and I found it in this, and I just really enjoyed the writing in this one. I enjoyed the characters, and it really kind of redeemed the cozy mystery genre for me. So very surprised by this one, pleasantly surprised. So question number 7 is a new or new to you author. So I'm kind of cheating on this one because I have a hard time. Okay, so it's like a new favorite author is how it's worded, but I have a hard time saying like, oh, this is a new favorite author after just one book. Sometimes I can, but sometimes that's a little bit hard for me. So I've definitely found some new favorites this year, but I was reading for like the second time around. So this is one of those. That's Tammy L. Gray. I just finished this second book in her State of Grace series. This is Christian romance, and she just really does a good job with Christian romance. Like, her romance is really good, her faith content is really good, and she just really, really gets me like emotional and emotionally involved with the characters. And so I think that she has just kind of become, after reading this second book from her, one of my favorite authors, and I want to read more of her books. Question number 8 is new fictional crush. So this is always kind of a difficult question, but I just try to think about like the romance books that I've read that I really, really enjoyed, and I thought like the male main character was good in it. So for that one, I'm gonna go with Cole and Layla Are Just Friends by Bethany Turner. I loved this book so much. This was also kind of a surprise because the first book in this series, Brandon and Sebastian hate each other, I DNF'd, and I'm so glad that I went ahead and read this one because I loved this story so much. These characters, Cole and Layla, were so sweet. They were just such fun, loving, kind characters. The book was funny but emotional. They had been best friends like their entire lives, and they were they were like about to turn 40. I just loved this book so much. So I'm picking Cole for this answer, although it's really their love story and both of them that I just really, really loved. And I highly recommend this book. So question number 9 is new favorite character. So for that one, I'm choosing Darby from Della and Darby. I actually really loved both Della and Darby and their grandma Birdie, so it was really hard for me to choose between them, but I think I just really liked Darby. She was so down to earth. She was like quiet and shy and reserved, but very just like content in her life, and just kind. I don't know, I really, really liked her. So I also really liked this book, if you can't tell by my tabs. I was kind of surprised by how fun and enjoyable this book was for me. It's a contemporary Christian. It's not really romance heavy, although there is some romance in it. It's really just a family story set in a small town about these two twin sisters and their grandma who raised them. And we get like a chapter from each one of them, and I loved it so much. Like, it was just such an enjoyable read. Question number 10 is a book that made you cry. So a couple of these that I've already talked about did make me cry, but for this challenge last year, I tried to pick a different book for each prompt, and so I'm gonna stick with that and talk about The Lost Year by Catherine Marsh. This is a middle grade historical fiction that is set, we're actually going between time periods. I can't remember the time periods, but it is dual timeline. But the main part of this story is set during the famine in Ukraine, and it was so heavy and emotionally impactful, but so good. I feel like it was just really, really, really done well, and I learned from it, and I love that about historical fiction, especially middle grade historical fiction. I definitely will wait to share this with my youngest until he gets a little bit older. I think the themes and everything in it are just really heavy and really sad, hence why it's the answer to this question. But I definitely recommend it for older, more middle grade age group, and adults as well. So I highly recommend this one. Okay, the next question is a book that made you happy, and I'm gonna stick in the middle grade genre for this one and talk about A Place to Hang the Moon by Kate Albus. And this is such a sweet book. It's like a hug in a book. Like, when I got done, I was so happy and wanted to hug it, and so that's why I chose it for this. It's historical fiction as well, set during World War II, following 3 siblings, and it's so sweet. It has also some hard things in it, but overall was just a very heartwarming and uplifting story, so I definitely recommend that one as well. I did read that one aloud with my 7-year-old, and we both really liked it. Question number 12 is the most beautiful book you've bought or received this year. So I am kind of cheating on this one because it's not just one book, but I just received this Puffin and Bloom collection from Lindsay at Lindsay Lulimus over on Instagram. She sent this to me for reaching 500 subscribers here on YouTube, and I'm so grateful for that. But these are so beautiful, so I just have to list them all for the answer of this question. Since it is a collection, I'm just going to share them. Okay, we also have a bookmark with the Little Women one. So there's Little Women, Anne of Green Gables, A Little Princess, and Heidi. So those are definitely the most beautiful books I've received this year. Okay, so the final question is a book that you want to read by the end of the year. So obviously I have a lot, not just up here, but I have a whole shelf that I'd like to get to. But for that one, I wanted to share Powerless by Lauren Roberts because I really want to get to this like soon. And this was also a book blessing from my friend Chrissy at Chrissy's Purple Library, and I'm so grateful for that, and I just really want to get to this like really soon. So I'm so excited to try it. I've heard wonderful things. I've heard it's really good, and her second book is coming out soon. Okay, so that is my mid-year freak out. It's been a really great reading year for me so far this year. I'm so glad that I came back to BookTube. It's just been such a blessing in my life these past few months after kind of my return. So thank you so much for being here and watching my videos and commenting and just interacting with me. Like, it's so much fun for me. So I'm so happy that you are here. And if you want to share below what your favorite book you've read so far this year, I would love to hear about that. Or if you've done the mid-year freakout tag, go ahead and tell me about it below and I will go and watch it, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video.